Temple to put us ahead by, I guess, 9 points. And he's been one of our leading tacklers, leading sack guys, and nose guard.
We'll open it up for questions.
Turner, what did you just see on that safety there? You almost got him a couple plays before there.
Well, I knew, that was a great punt, and they were pinned back down there, so I was going to try to fire off. And I was thinking pass rush, and then Luke Blanton and Marshall Hammock they pushed him up in the pocket, and I got him.
You only got like a hand on his jersey. Did you think you got enough of him to bring him down?
At first, I was like, he's probably going to get away, but then I kind of reeled him in, and then got him down.
I thought the play of the day, they had a 4th down and a couple at the 5-yard line and kept them out in the end zone, and you went the other way. Can you talk about that momentum shift at that point?
That was a huge play. Our defense was pinned back there, and we just made a great play. Everyone did their thing, and then we stopped them on 4th down.
Coach Allen, what did it mean to look around that whole upper bowl and see pretty much 80 years of Highland Park all celebrating this win, and so close, 15 miles away from where you'll practice? What's that mean?
Well, last night at the pep rally, we had the 45, 57, and 2005 state championship players. Some of those guys came. And when you play for a state championship, it brings the Scott alumni, the Scott Nation back together again, and everybody's rooting for the same thing, a championship. And our kids play hard, play very hard, and they it's a tradition, just like Temple has a great tradition. We have a great football tradition, and to bring a state championship home will mark these guys forever. They'll put their name up on the press box, their number year 2016, and they'll be back every year that we play for another state championship. So they've set themselves apart today by the way they performed.
John Stephen, what did you guys do to keep Temple's really good defense off balance enough to put the 14 points the offense did on the board? What was the key?
Coach Allen and all the coaches came up with a great game plan, and we didn't execute at the beginning, but we switched some things around, and coaches put us in position, and that's what we did. We executed toward the end of the game.
Hey, Coach, this was the 10th time this year that your defense gave up less than 10 points. You forced some key turnovers and had some big 4th down stands. Can you just talk a little bit about your defense?
Well, our defense, led by Coach Woods, has gotten better as the year progressed, and they've stayed healthy, and they just seemed to, as the year progressed, got more confidence in each other, so they were playing their own responsibilities, and everybody did their job, and they were just hustling on every play to where if one guy missed the tackle, somebody else was there. And as you saw today, when the chips are down and they've got to make a play, they came up with a play. And they've been a great defense throughout the playoffs. And today was such it kind of put the icing on top of the cake of just how great they are, because they were put in some really tough positions throughout the day, bad field position. They were tired. Temple had gotten that tempo offense going, and they found a way to stop them.
They kind of hit you underneath with the short passes underneath. Just what did you guys change, if anything, to kind of stop that and their kind of early offensive momentum?
Well, Coach Wood is willing to give up that little 5-yard pass and rally and make the tackle. And, a lot of people think you won't be patient enough to do that down the field. But every time we move our outside backer out, they run the ball, and every time we move the outside backer in, they throw the ball. So they got you in a bind. And so what you do is you play you move him back and forth and make them guess a little bit and hope they go to something else.
John Stephen, can you tell us what kind of pressure someone like you is under, considering everybody's got their eyes on you, because partly because of who your grandfather is and who your father is, that everybody knows who you are to play in that situation?
I just treat it like I'm playing any other game when I was little or something. It's just a different stage now, and a lot more people watching, but they treat it the same way. And I just like coming out here and winning ball games with my teammates.
Turner, can you talk about how well your downfield guys played in the secondary? 31 made a lot of plays. I think Stewart made some good plays. You saw on film Temple's deep threat ability that they showed the last couple of games. I think their longest pass today was 16 yards. You talk about those guys.
Well, throughout the week, we'd seen on film that they like to go deep a bunch. So We just made a good game plan to stop that, and we just went out and executed.
I wanted to say this, do you mind? I worried all week because our skill guys were going to get put into one-on-one situations with deep passes. I knew that. And I knew that they were going to have to make plays on the ball with the ball in the air, obviously, and a great player running for it. And I think 3 times today or more, our guys went up and found a way to keep a good receiver from getting the ball. Either they batted the ball away or they made a hit or whatever it was. But they played the ball well in the air on deep balls, and that was a real key, is for us to keep them from making those big plays.
Was this 31's best game?
Alex Wazell? Sure. He played great today.
Turner, what did Coach Wood and Coach Allen say to you in the timeout before the 4th and 1 down late in the game?
They just kept us calm and ready to go. I mean, we pinned them back there, and we just had to make a play on the guy.
Coach, you've had so many great teams, so many wins. What makes this group unique?
Well, I've never had a team that I only had one of the state championship team in 2005, but we were healthy. We had one injury in the playoffs, and Chris Olson was the injury, and he came back for the state championship game. But this was a team that we had the 2 leading receivers, the 2 leading rushers go down, and yet other guys stepped up to take up the slack. And I've only seen it happen a couple other times where a team will compensate for losses, and other players will step up and not only take the place of the guy that was injured, but play better than they're capable, or what people think they're capable of playing. And then other guys on the defense maybe picking up the slack a little bit, and maybe the offensive lineman blocking a little bit harder. But I'm going to say this, and John Stephen and Turner would both echo this. Number 35 is a tough cookie, and we wouldn't be here without him, Paxton Alexander.
John Stephen, can you describe your touchdown run in the first half? What you wanted to get happen, what you wanted to happen on that play, and then just how it materialized as you ran through their defense.
I wanted to score, but our O-line made some great blocks, and receivers blocked great downfield. Jack Tui made a big block right near the end zone. Just great team effort on that play. O-line played great on that play, and so did the receivers.
Final questions?
Coach, you mentioned Alex. In the kind of game you found yourself in early, how big were a couple of those pass breakups and then that interception in the second quarter?
They were huge. I mean, we put ourselves in real bad field positions several times, and it could have been. We put ourselves in a position where if we don't make plays, they're going to get away from us. And our defense just held them to 7, and we got. I thought at half we were 7-7. I thought we were fortunate to get out of that half 7-7 with everything that happened to us. So those early defensive stops were critical to us winning the football game.
Coach Stephen, is there a reason you wear the number 9?
Sorry?
Why do you wear the number 9? I'm back here.
Sorry. I'm usually number 15, but someone picked that number earlier in the season, but they didn't end up playing, so I got assigned a different number.
Hey, Coach, with Walker, Lane, Stafford, McElhenney, where do Jones, Alexander, and Cox fit on that list?
Well, here's the way I want you to remember them. They played when everybody was watching. There was 40,000 people, and they have to make plays to win a football game against an extremely talented Temple football team. They came through. And all I can tell you is they're tenacious competitors, and they play hard for their teammates, and they're going to play 48 minutes, and they're going to compete to find a way to win a football game. And it was a very unusual way to win today. It's not the kind of game that we're used to playing. It was a hard-fought game, and it wasn't smooth, and I never felt like we were in the rhythm, but we just kind of had to take what we could get, and they made plays to win it.
John Stephen, your father, he compared the state title run to the Super Bowl runs of the Cowboys in the 90s. What kind of comparison is that like to you?
I'm not too sure, but winning championships, but it's different on each level, but it's a big deal in high school too, especially for us, because we dreamed of this, especially in Highland Park. Because ever since you're a kid, you go to these Highland Park camps, and they show you video of the 2005 team winning state, and just to be able to do that with your team, with your brothers out there, it's incredible feeling.